Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Rogue Galaxy. Last time we completed rank E of the Insectron. This time we're going back for round 2. This time we're going to be tackling rank D, and I'm hoping it takes substantially less time than the previous episode.
Ladies and gentlemen, the D-rank match is about to begin. This rank's crushing powerhouses promise another fierce battle. Are you ready to battle? Here comes the first round.
All right. Again, we're going to select them, and I do them in a specific way. Basically, I have King be my number 1 because it makes things faster later on. It doesn't matter which of the elves goes in 2 or 4, but that's where they go. I have the Crescent Beetle in the middle, and then we have the other Heart Roller at the end. Don't want to do auto roll or auto positioning. We want to put everyone where we want to put them. Not that it makes a massive amount of difference, but later on it will matter a little more. And then, of course, we set up our one guy there as king. Now, as I said in the last episode, the king that you have cannot be killed, otherwise you are going to lose the round. So we don't want to lose the round. So usually you want to choose the most appropriate, the most powerful, the most effective choice for a king. In my case, I've gone with the most defensive bug that I have. But it's not the best one that you could possibly get in the game. And I'll get back to that in a moment. Poison is a status in this that is actually really effective. As you can see, we took 30 points of damage there, and that will happen every time our round begins. So having the poison status on us is very effective at taking us down, especially when the damage that the enemies can deal really isn't up to par. But the thing that makes poison so effective is that later on, we're going to be fighting enemies like, right now, these guys have 200 HP. We're going to be fighting enemies with like 600, 700, 800 HP probably by the end. That being the case, poison is going to be very effective, especially when we have to take down really powerful kings. How am I going to take down powerful kings with poison? I don't have a poison user. I have Charm Beam. I'm gonna steal poison. And that's basically my strategy for the latter half of the area. Actually, let's move you up here. No, we're just going to attack. I am going to steal anything and everything that I could possibly need in order to make my life easier. All right, we're gonna dart you up here. I do not want you guys to have a fairy type because the fairy type can do charm, as we just talked about. So the most important thing is to get them off the field. Let's get rid of them right now. Don't really want to worry about that. We'll move you up so we can get closer to the action. The poison bugs on the opponent's side, as long as they don't poison your king, usually isn't a massive deal, especially early on, because we're going to be doing so much damage that it's not really going to matter. You broke my guard. As we talked about, each different enemy has its own special ability. If poison is one of the most effective things in the late game, the other most effective thing is the healing jig created by, which family is it? The Lady Beetle. It's a dance that recovers stamina, otherwise known as HP, and cures poison for all adjacent allies. Now, how do I expect to go through a long drawn-out tournament without having access to healing? I'm gonna give you one guess. I'm gonna steal it. So yeah, my strategy involves stealing all the useful abilities and using that to make my life a lot easier. All right, so let's move you over here. Just because I can't get you to where I want you to be. This guy needs to move up here. I'm going to... Yeah, we're going to attack this one because I think I can kill it. Perfect. And you are going to go right about there because that's going to put you in a better position to be able to attack the enemy next time he gets close. We'll move you up and go for the attack. Basically, we're just going to follow along with you. And as you can see, he's taken down my king by quite a bit. So I'm actually going to back off the king a little bit. Leave him kind of in defense. Like if this was like, this isn't going to last like one or two hits. If what I wanted to do was protect my king, is I would try and position him in a way where he either couldn't be attacked or is far enough away so that he's not attacked often. And ideally, what I would do is I would move you here. In this case, I'm just going to wait just so I can demonstrate it. Then I'm going to move this one here, which would block off their bug from being able to get around my bugs, because you usually have a movement of one square. If you have a movement of one square and there's a bug in the way, you can't actually move. So using a wall like this is actually very effective in terms of defense, and protecting your king behind such a wall is going to be very effective long term if you end up needing to protect your king. And we're down another round. Now, I'm actually re-recording this episode. For some reason, I lost footage for the first 3/4 of this episode, and you saw what a absolute nightmare. I've edited it, the factory episode, but man, I should have just recorded it all in one go instead of doing the nighttime. I'm too tired to do the commentary and then trying to edit it in later. I was probably editing that for like 3.5 hours trying to get that all lined up. That episode was a nightmare. I hope it turns out all right. But anyway, for starting in rank D, we're going to get 30 experience per round instead of 25 in the previous one. And because it's the first time we've completed an individual round, we're going to get stat ups for everybody. Massive stat ups. Gotta love those.
The bout is over. You've won. Congratulations. Let's keep going. On to the second round.
I'm fighting children. With the previous angle, you couldn't even see his head above ground. But then again, these are the low ranks. I'm not really surprised that I'm fighting children. Now, you may think that I went out of my way and overpowered all of my units. In the previous round, I was fighting, or in the previous rank, in rank E, I was fighting enemies that had like 10, 20 attack. They're already up to 50. So all of that effort that I put in ahead of time that seemed like it was overkill? No, like I still have higher stats, but I also have higher ranked bugs as well. So all that work is going to be very quickly, not really overcome, but they're going to catch up, and they're going to find parity with my bugs a lot sooner than you would think. Now, this opening strategy that I have going here of where I'm moving the bugs, it's not very efficient. It's basically just the reason I'm doing it now is because I'm keeping it in line with what I did the first time I recorded this episode. Speaking of other attacks, and I wasn't talking about it, but I did in the previous attempt at recording this. I'll get back to my point in a moment. This guy uses Cannon Blast. This guy has the jumping stab, same as our bug. This guy's got Scissor Throw. There's another jumping stab, and this guy's got Crushing Horn. This is a Hercules beetle. Each of these different attacks are going to be useful for different reasons. The Cannon Blast, I don't know why he moved up to use it, because you can use this and hit from all the way across the board. The abilities in general, I think I misspoke in the previous episode where I was talking about jumping stab, thinking that it avoided accuracy. It's not that it avoids the accuracy check. What it avoids is a counterattack. And a lot of these other abilities are the same way. The Scissor Throw is the same, the jumping stab, and the Cannon Blast. The Scissor Throw picks up the bug that's in this position and throws it to one position behind the bug using it. If that bug happens to be on the edge, like here, if my bug was here and he used it, it would have the potential to throw it out of bounds. If it gets thrown out of bounds, that bug is dead for the round. This guy can hit from a massive range. The Crushing Horn, there we go. It has the ability to knock the opponent back. So again, if my bug is all the way down here and he's right here and he moves him back, he's going to move it off the board. You're going to lose that bug. So there are ways other than depleting HP in order to defeat your opponents. I said I was going to get back to it and then I forgot what it was. I knew I was going to do that. Oh, bugger. What was I talking about? Well, I'm sure I'll think of it in the meantime. Let's just keep going on here. Let's try and finish off these guys. So yeah, the enemy's bugs have found something close to parity. They're not quite there yet, but they're definitely closing in quickly. So let's move these two up here, finish off that one. And we'll take, or we won't do anything to you. That's fine too. I'm going to move you up here. It is going to put you in harm's way, or if you could miss. Don't ask me why those miss so often. The accuracy in this game is just messed right up. No idea why the accuracy is as bad as it is. All right, so we're going to take out this bug first. And next one we're going to do is that. Move you over here. Now you usually want to go for the initial hit with your heart rollers, because when they get counterattacked, they're only going to lose their ball of dung there. And when they lose it, they have a chance of, well, I think it's like 2 rounds and they re-roll it. And that uses one of their little dots there. That's basically their special ability. Also, the E that shows up in there, I can't remember when I mentioned this, but I mentioned it either in the recording that didn't work, or I will mention it in the following episode. I haven't edited that one yet. I'm only up to this one. I was like, okay, now I got to re-record this one so I can edit this one so we can get on with it. But the E's above the head means that bug has already acted for this turn. So anyway, now you know which ones should be still available to have a move on any given round. Ow. We're not going to bother moving anybody up. We'll just go attack with these two. Finish off the round here. You're still alive? How are you still alive? You have to have 1 HP left. You have to. 36. It does not look like 36 on there. Based on that, this should be, I'm guessing, 52. This looks like it's more. Is it just because it's blue and it looks different? Whatever. It doesn't matter. He did anyway. Now, in terms of us gaining experience after the rounds, the difference in experience from the previous round, which was 25, is what? Maybe 12.5%, somewhere in there, 20%. Math is hard. I don't do math well. So we're just going to assume that that's something close to right and move on from that idea.
The bout is over. You've won. Congratulations.
But what you have to weigh is you have to weigh how much longer these fights are going to take than the fights you were doing before, and weigh whether the time difference is offset by the additional experience or not. Because if it's going to take you 50% longer to clear rank D than it is rank E, the 12.5% experience boost really is going to make you go slower. It's kind of boring just slaughtering them over and over again, but there's a pretty sharp difficulty spike with each subsequent rank.
Things are really heating up in here. Time for the third round.
All right. Bring everyone back in for another round. Now, eventually I will probably not change up the order that I start with like this, but I will change my opening gambit. Like when we have enemies like this, sometimes if I'm feeling nervous about the encounter, I will take one of my elves, I'll put them right up here, and then I'll charm somebody right off the bat. If I think that I'm gonna lose or something like that, like if I'm struggling with the previous level and it's like rank or like level 5 or whatever, and it's the last round, I might go and steal an opponent right away and see if that works to kind of sway things in my favor. But for now, we're gonna go with the bad strategy that I did basically in my test run when I had no idea what I was doing. Which, it's not like it's abysmal, but it's not very economical, and you can make a substantial difference from going from this loadout to a completely different loadout, and I'll go over that in more detail in the subsequent episode where I absolutely have to do that. Nice miss. They're all going after the same bug. All right, let's hope that I don't do enough damage to finish that off. Lovely. Thank you, video game. All right, we're going to attack that because we have no alternative. And how am I going to go about this? I'm going to move you up here. And we're going to attack this guy. The other guy still has his, like this is another roller guy, but in his case, he's a bomb roller. So he holds a bomb instead of a dung or a heart or anything like that. I don't think it actually, he's still alive too? Well, that's unfortunate. Now what I've done here is use that wall strategy I talked about before to block off the opponents. So here we're just going to exchange breaking defenses over and over and over again. So you're gonna die. King's gonna do nothing. This guy has hypnotism. Let's go to help. I believe that's down here somewhere. This one? No. This one? Ah, there it is. Hypnotism makes your opponents immobile. So there's another ability, and as you can see, the range of movement on this guy is massive. He can basically go anywhere on the screen whenever he wants. So yeah, the movement that certain bugs have is going to make a difference in terms of what you're able to do. So I'm going to move you up here. And I'm going to attack this one. And miss. I hate the miss rate in this game. The miss rate doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I don't know if there's any type of formula to determine what your accuracy is going to be. But I do find that the higher the enemy's stats, the more I tend to miss. Now, even if my... Stop. Ow. As you can see, the absolute domination that I experienced the first time around, it's no longer the case. You know what? I am going to... Yeah, I am going to attack this guy. Should be enough to kill him. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to play defensively by moving this guy here and choosing not to attack. And then I'm going to move this guy here. This guy is indeed going to attack. Basically, I've put something in the way so that my king, even though he doesn't really need the protection, I'm just trying to demonstrate a strategy that you would probably employ later on when it matters a little more. I'm not too worried about losing bugs because no matter if you lose the bug or not, they will all gain experience at the end of the round. Ow. Nope. Finish him off. There we go. So I lost one of my bugs. It's either rook or pawn. So we'll see here that both rook and pawn are going to gain experience.
Oh, man.
Here's kings. King got a lot of... Oh, king leveled up. So yeah, this is why the numbers are so massive. So pawn leveled up. Got massive stats. Attack power up by 10. Holy crap. Knight went up. And there's rook as well. And doesn't seem to be any smaller in terms of the stat boost. They're all over the map.
The bout is over. You've won. Congratulations.
All right, on to round 4.
Now we're getting to the best part. Here comes the 4th round. Start.
This won't take long.
I remembered what I was talking about before earlier on and then decided I was going to forget about it while I got distracted talking about something else. So let's talk about that before I do too much here. The heart roller, or basically any of the roller family, are a good option for being your king because they're quite defensive. But there is one bug that is above all the undisputed best bug in the game. This bug is obtained at the end of the post-game dungeon. I have patience problems. This is chapter 8. We're not waiting until the post-game to do it. A lot of the rewards from this side quest that we get for completing the ranks, like the first one was battle feed, which is crap. But what we're going to get for this one is also crap. But all the other prizes are going to be useful things that I actually want to get. Weapons I need to combine. There's also an extra costume in here somewhere. So we're definitely going to want to get all of those things.
There we go.
But I will show off how to get this bug at the end of the post-game dungeon if we have any interest in showing that off. I'm assuming somebody will want to know about it. I was interested at the end where it's like, okay, I'm going to get this bug and I've already done all the other bug stuff, so I'm not going to use it, but I got it at least. But oddly enough, there's also a level 8 heart roller in, or is it? No, it's not a level 8 heart roller. It's a level 8 dung roller type. And that will be available in that post-game dungeon as well. I'll try and talk about it when I get there, if I remember. If not, remind me in comments. Anyway, I think those are most of like the extra little bits that I wanted to mention. So let's just go and finish off this round here and move you here. Of course. I'm going to move you up there so that I have more room to move my other guys into place. Finish you off. Then we're going to move you up here. And instead of attacking the weaker one, I'm going to attack the one that's got more HP left, because the Crescent Beetle tends to be the stronger physical fighter. I'm gonna move you. No. I want to move this guy first because I'm not 100% sure he can finish this guy off. He can. Okay, perfect. I was going to use this guy to cover the damage that the other guy didn't do, but I guess I don't need to do that. Almost killed it. See, like, the AI is dumb as a bag of rocks or a bag of dicks or whatever it is. Like, why would you just make your guys move and do nothing? And the AI is terrible in this video game. All right, let's kill you so you don't heal. And the thing is, you could have healed on your turn that you just had. But again, video game is stupid. Also, it does show the HP at the bottom of the screen. I haven't mentioned it, and I honestly don't see it. Because every time I've gone to go look at someone's HP, I go like this, and I go into parameters, and then I look, and yeah, I'm not very observant. All right, we did much better that round than we did the one before. Don't ask me how that works.
No way. It can't be.
All right, let's get all our stats for finishing off with round 4 there.
The bout is over. You've won. Congratulations.
Now, as with rank D, we do need to gain some additional experience. So I'm going to cancel out of round 5, and then we're going to redo rounds 1 through 4, just so we get a little bit of more experience on the go. But of course, we want to actually activate this first.
Oh, there you are. I knew you'd make it. Well, you're up against me next. I hope you're ready. Here we go.
If you remember when we first got here in Chapter 4, he said he was the rank D champion. And, well, here he is, the rank D champion. Now we can take him on.
Are you ready?
But as I said, we're going to give up for now. And the reason for that is we want to gain a little more experience before we go about.
The bout is over. Oh, that's too bad. Try again, okay? I hope to...
And he says that every time, so I'm just going to skip that. If we go into our items and we look at our cage and we take a look at their satiety, it's gone down a little bit, but it hasn't gone down all the way. When you're in those the battles there, it doesn't usually go down by much. Like, I've had it where it doesn't seem like it goes down at all, and I've had other times where it seems like it does a little bit, like it just did. Because when I came in here, they were mostly maxed out. But I guess that could have been time that the game was sitting idle while I was getting ready to start recording. I don't know, whatever. Let's see here. As far as stats go, there's an interesting aspect to building up all these stats. Earlier on, I was saying that we wanted to focus on strength and defense and HP. HP we can focus on throughout the entirety of this. All of those resistances, the knockback, cut, throw, confusion, explosion, poison, we're eventually going to need those more and more the later on into the tournaments that we get. So in order to work on the best, we can't actually feed them yet, but in order to work on the stats in the most efficient way, we want to basically get up to about 70 or so. And because we're still such a low level, we're going to gain stats not only from beating individual rounds, but also from leveling up. And as you saw with the gigantic strength increases, getting up to about 70 is probably all you want to do, because you don't want to waste any of those stat ups. Even if a stat is maxed, I believe you can still get that stat as your random round stat that gains a few points. So you don't want to waste any of those by not getting anything. So get your strength and your defense up to about 70 and then leave it there. HP you can keep raising as much as you want, basically. I didn't max it out in my test run, didn't need to. And if you want to work on resistances, the Yago milk is really your best friend. Because the Yago milk, of course my controller is still controlling my images on my other monitor for some reason. I don't even know if that was part of the thing that I recorded that got scrapped or if that's something that got in. My brain is a jumbled mess at this point. But the Yago milk gives 1 to HP, 1 to knockback defense, 1 to cut defense, 1 to explosion defense, 1 to throw defense, and 1 to poison defense. It minuses 1 from confusion defense, but if we pair it with something like the Draken coffee beans, which gives us +2 to that, then we end up being more economical in the long run in terms of the life capacity. I talked about the life capacity before. Let's take a look here. Our bugs here are now adults. They are no longer larvae. In order to get them up here, you need to consume their life capacity up to, I think it's up to 20. They start with a default of 160, and every time you level, or every time you feed them, they lose a certain number of capacity. Most food is -1. There's a few of them out there that are -3 and a couple that are -2. The Yago milk is -2, but it raises up your 5 different resistance stats by 1 and lowers another one by 1. So basically, for a -2 effect, it's almost identical to the +2 of 2 other random ones, except you gain that additional point of HP as well. So it's more economical to use the Yago milk, but not by a lot. So if you'd rather use the other ones, feel free to use the other ones. But my plan is to basically work on getting strength and defense, or vice versa, up to about 70. And then I'm going to start working on things like Yago milk and offsetting it with the Draken coffee beans, and then boosting up my HP even more. And how I'm going to handle this is, over the course of the game, you can feed your bugs, I think it's every 4 minutes of in-game time. The satiety meter will go from 100% to 0% in 5 minutes, but once it hits that 25% breakpoint, then you can feed them again. So basically, I think right now we're probably at about 40%, and if I gave it a little more time, we would be able to feed them again. But regardless, what I want to do is I want to do, like I just said, I want to start raising those stats, and eventually I will kind of focus in on individual stats. Like here, we've got a really high throw defense. Everything else is a lot lower. So I'll start focusing on some of the other ones once I get a little closer. Like with this particular bug, I probably wouldn't use the Yago milk all that much because he's probably going to get already to max on his throw defense anyway, just by leveling up. Let's grab a different bug and take a look at a different bug. This one, a lot of the defenses there are pretty much the same. So the Yago milk is a good choice for this guy, though he is my king and I would like to get him with much higher defense so that he doesn't, die. So I'd probably work on that and HP before I do all those other resistances. But eventually we'll get to the point where strength and defense max themselves out just by gaining both levels, initial round wins, and then secondary round wins when you only get one stat instead of a whole bunch. So how I'm going to handle this, because this is going to take throughout the entire game. We're only going to be able to do one more round of this right now, and then the enemies are just going to be too challenging because each round is a massive difficulty spike, or each rank, sorry. It's hard to keep all of them straight. Too many things. We got levels, we've got bug ranks, we've got ranks in the tournament, we got rounds in the tournament. My brain is mush at this point, trying to keep it all straight. But I am going to like cut out a random battle as we progress through the game. I'm going to go into my inventory. I am going to dick around with my equipment, make sure everyone's working on something that they're supposed to, and then I'll go feed my bugs. And I'll do most of it off screen so it's not too tedious to deal with. Just because I know like this, like it's going to take probably another couple of chapters, I think, before we are going to be good to get them all, just because we need to spend all that time working on them and getting them into the shape they need to in order to survive. Because like I said, like we've completed the first 2 rounds and they're getting closer to being on parity with us. By the next round, they're round C or rank C. They're pretty much on par with us, and we are going to struggle a lot more. But anyway, that's it for what I had here. I am going to go off screen and I am going to redo the first 4 rounds. And then I'm going to cut to the only footage that actually survived from the initial recording of this, which is me doing round 5. And I have no idea what I said in there because I haven't got a chance to edit that part yet, but I will edit that once I edit this, which is what I'm going to do right now. So confusion in my brain, confusion in your brain. Cut to me in the past, which is in the future. I'm already confused. And we're back for round 5.
I'll take you on any time.
Now, I'm kind of disappointed in myself. I turned off the recording just so that I didn't have massive file sizes to deal with, and so I had less that I had to edit out. And then in the battles that I did off screen there, I had almost every different type of attack used against me, and I was like, oh, I'll just check that later. And then I looked over, oh yeah, I turned that off. Crap. So I missed demonstrating, no, I wanted to actually move you. I missed demonstrating, I think, poison and like knockback and flip and a whole bunch of other things. It was rather unfortunate. But hopefully we'll get to see them over the course of the Let's Play anyway. I'm assuming I'll find more of them as we go through. There's 1 death, that's good. Move you up here. You're gonna go after that guy. You're gonna go over here. I believe this is the ladybug one, so I definitely want you to be dead because you can heal. And move you up here. Finish off that one. Well, we finally have a death on our side. That is the first time. So I will show you after this fight that it doesn't matter whether the bug is dead or not. No, we want to attack this one first. Almost killed him in 1 shot. Yeah, I'm gonna attack with you. That's fine. I was thinking about it because I was thinking I would want to move him here after, or I would want to move him up, but I want to make sure that I don't accidentally kill this guy, which I didn't have to worry about, it seems, but I didn't want to kill him and miss out on the additional experience. Because everyone's going to get credit for the full 30 experience here, including the one that I have that died, which is either rook or pawn, whichever one is not currently alive. But you'll notice as we go through the stat buffs that they all gain experience either way.
I knew you could do it.
King, rook, knight, pawn, and queen. All 5 of them gain stats.
Oh, he's done it! We have a new D-rank champion! Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause! What's this? Seems the former champ has something to say!
Whoa, I can't believe you beat me. I hate losing, but I'm glad it was against you. I'll find an even better Insector and get my revenge. All right. You better win the C rank bout next. I'm off to find an even more awesome Insector. See you later!
All right, and for completing rank D, we get feed formula that, again, is for mating purposes only, and we're basically just never going to deal with that. The second time we go through there, we could win a max heal. Whoop-de-doo! So we're not going to do that. Our next rank to take on is going to be rank C, and I'll mention this in the next episode as well. But in my notes, I specifically noted to wait until you've hit, I think it was level 5? Yeah, my notes say to not complete rank C until you've reached level 5. And the reason for this is, remember, we don't want to complete any rank that we're not willing to go to the next rank up and fight, because once we've completed a rank, we're never going back to there because we get half the experience. There's no point. So the reason why I say to hang around at the next one, let's take a look at where we are in terms of levels. We are ready to feed, so that's good, and we're at level 3.5. So we'll probably have to do 2 rounds of getting all the way to level 4 and then backing off before we can go and finish off rank C. But anyway, let's take a look here. I'm going to give Yago milk. As you can see, we've lost confusion protection, but that doesn't really affect us too much, and we can counteract it later. This guy, we are going to feed more damage. This guy, we're going to feed more defense. And this one, also more defense. And just make sure that we haven't fed everybody. And this guy is also going to get more defense. The more defense we have, the more chance the bugs that we fight are going to do no damage at all. So anyway, that's pretty much all the time we have for today. That has been rank D. Next time we will take on rank C, but I'll probably do the initial fights off screen, and that way we can go straight through with one round instead of me splitting it up the way that I did. But anyway, that's pretty much all the time we have for this one. And I'll see you guys next time.